Alright guys, welcome back. Podcast for the people. I got Ty Fischer here again. Round 2.
Yes, good to be back.
Yeah, man. So Ty and I were just talking about jiu-jitsu. We both just started jiu-jitsu. Actually, I didn't even know that you were starting jiu-jitsu when you started it.
That was funny.
And we were texting. I was like, dude, I started jiu-jitsu. It's the coolest thing ever. And he was like, oh shit, me too, man. It's the best.
I just started it like the day before.
The same time. That's awesome.
The day before you texted me, I mean.
Yeah. Yo, alright, so along those lines, we were just talking, but the question came around my gym today, and I wanted to bring this up today because I thought that this might be funny. But, even the room that we're sitting in right now, what size animal do you think you could take? If it was just a blank four-walled room, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you don't have any weapons or anything, what size animal do you think you could take?
A smaller wolf.
A smaller? That's what I said.
Smaller wolf.
Maybe a wolf.
Some of them get too big. And I don't know that. I don't feel confident.
What is the biggest wolf? Like 100? What are they? 150 pounds?
Okay, so again, I don't actually know anything about wolves. But in the movies, some of them look big, and I'm not taking a big wolf. That's just not going to happen. No. But if it's a wolf that's the size of an average dog, like your average dog, right? Mm-hmm. Not like a giant, but average dog,
like a normal golden retriever.
Yeah. If it's a wolf that size, I'm not saying I got it, but I'm saying I'll take my chances with that over some other shit.
Dude, yeah, I had
and it's not like I'm coming out bad. I'm coming out with a lot of deep gashes.
Oh, you're getting tuned up.
You got to sacrifice. I thought about this. You got to sacrifice your forearm. You just got to jam your forearm in their mouth and just say you don't have an arm for a few weeks or months. Yeah. And then you got to fucking tear out their throat.
That's what I was thinking too. I had the same thought. I thought a wolf. I thought depending, like an alligator, you could probably take an alligator depending on the size.
If you can get on top of it.
5 or 6 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people trap alligators all the time.
Yeah, if you can get on top of it, you can just grip up their mouth and, they don't have a big opening force. Right. You can actually hold it down. So.
And then you just.
Yeah, I don't know how I would kill it, actually. I don't know how I would kill it. I just have to sit on it until, some help came.
Till it starves? I don't know.
Yo, this is something with alligators and crocodiles. I knew this before, but then I learned something new the other day, actually listening to Joe Rogan. I think it was Joe Rogan. So alligators and crocodiles, I don't know if it's both or just one, but alligators, let's say, they don't die because of old age. They don't die the same way humans. If you can't live forever as a human, you're going to get old and die. Alligators, the only reason they die is because something kills them, like physically kills them, or they've contracted a deadly disease. But if they can avoid deadly disease and avoid a predator, they can live. I don't know how old the oldest one is, but they can live a lot longer. They can live well over 100 years.
Really?
Yeah, and here's what I learned new about them was that these saltwater, I think they're saltwater alligators or crocodiles.
I think saltwater is crocodile and freshwater is alligator.
No,
that could be wrong.
I think it's alligator. There's freshwater and saltwater of both, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's the saltwater alligator. Not only does it continue to live unless something predator kills it, but it also continues to grow. So these things get massive.
Just no limit.
Well, not that we would know of yet.
Yeah.
Because, one hasn't lived, not that we know of, hasn't lived to be 200, 300 years because they do get killed by things.
I wonder if you put one in captivity and, could you,
or would that make it worse, though?
Would that make it worse?
Great white sharks in captivity just died.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Because.
Or, the whole SeaWorld and Shamu and stuff.
But isn't that amazing? Physiologically speaking, they don't die just because of aging. Because they don't age, their body, the aging process, they don't have the same thing that we have.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking
crazy.
They've
clocked, are turtles the same way?
I don't know.
Because they've clocked turtles at 150 years old before, haven't they?
Yeah, some of those tortoises.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same thing or if they just have
But they're dinosaurs. Aren't they? Alligators
legitimately, they've been around since then.
Actually dinosaurs.
Yeah. They,
Is there... I don't know really anything about this.
Well...
But how did they survive?
How did they survive?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. Like,
you know what I mean?
When all the other dinosaurs got extinct,
Everything else died.
Well, I mean, the other things are in the ocean, though, right? So they do live in water. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't really know. But they were saying, like, when our cells divide, like, there's a little bit of, like, destruction that happens. Like, just a teeny tiny bit. Like, a little part of the cell at the end gets, like, messed up.
Nicked off or something.
Yeah, or maybe it's the DNA, I should say. And it's just so over our lifespan, over 80, 90, 100 years, there's been so much damage that, like, that's why we age and that's why we end up dying from old age. But that doesn't happen when their cells divide to them. Like, there's no damage. So in theory, so they don't age, really. They don't really age. It's fucking crazy.
That is crazy. Could you... Oh my God, I gotta, like, wrap my head around this. Because when you say that, I just picture, like a 25, 30-foot, like, monster alligator.
Dude, I don't know how long...
There's no limit on that.
I don't know. Right. I think they said that, like, one of the big ones they saw...
Yeah. Look it up? Yeah.
I think they said one of the big ones they saw was, like, 20 feet, dude. Like, it's crazy.
That's insane. And alligators, how much do they weigh? I mean, if a 20-foot alligator has to approach, like, 1,000 pounds, right? Because they're thick. It's not like a python or something, like 20-foot python that's, thinner in comparison. Whew.
They are thick.
They are thick.
Oh, dude, they can be over 2,000 pounds.
2,000 pounds? Fuck.
Yeah, that's what it says right here.
That's huge. I always pictured alligators, like, in the times of dinosaurs and such. Because don't they say the atmosphere promoted bigger things? Promoted, like, bigger growth, bigger animals and such?
I mean, atmosphere back then have, right? Everything was giant.
I think they talk about, or there's research out there that is, like, the atmospheric gases were different before, the asteroid hit and all that kind of stuff. And so the stuff was able to grow just bigger in an all-around scale. So I always in my mind would think, like, alligators, like, right now they're huge to us. A 2,000-pound alligator is freaking huge.
That's giant.
But back then, if, like, an alligator would be kind of along the lines of, like, that was a dinosaur, like a lizard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, lizards to us are really small. So an alligator was a lizard of the dinosaur times. So, like, how big was all the other shit?
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like, in the museum, the T-Rexes are freaking... The bones are... It's massive.
We watched that Jurassic World the other day.
Did
dude.
you?
Oh, man. That's crazy.
Is that... Was there a new one?
There was just that one that came out, like, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, where they have the genetically modified, like...
the big one
the
or whatever.
The big one that, like, recruits all the raptors and such.
Something like that, yeah. But yeah, it was the...
Get out of here, dude.
Those things are crazy.
Huge.
Like, honestly, I think they might not have been as big as we think in our heads.
Yeah.
Like, in our heads, I think they're the size of, like, a skyscraper or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
I just picture these monsters.
Yeah, like the size of houses and stuff.
The cups are shaking, water's shaking, and
yeah. But, like, even if it's only as big as, like, a really big pickup truck, like,
I mean,
that's massive.
That's pretty big, dude.
That's massive.
Like, there's stuff out there right now that's
that
huge.
thing?
There's stuff that lives right now that's, like, elephants are fucking huge.
Yeah, dude. Ooh.
You know what I mean? But then you put an elephant next to, like, a long neck dinosaur.
What does that look like?
What does that look like?
Dude, elephants are badass, too.
Elephants
I love those things.
Are tough.
I saw this one thing with elephants. I think it was like some sort of National Geographic thing or something on Netflix like that.
Yeah.
And like, there was a couple lions roaming around, but it wasn't a bunch of them. It was just like a handful. And this elephant was just like, I don't give a fuck about you lions. I'm walking right over towards you. I don't care, because it knows that it's good.
Yeah.
Now, when there's like a pride of them that has, I don't know, 10 or 15 lions, they can take them down.
They can take them down, yeah.
They can. I've seen them like jump on their backs and stuff. But just like one or two, they don't stand a chance against an elephant.
No. Well, because elephant skin,
it's probably pretty thick.
It's super thick.
Probably, yeah.
Like, you can shoot it and it'll I mean, it'll hurt probably, but like
a 9mm is probably not doing
probably
much
not gonna
damage.
take it out. Yeah, yeah. I think. Well, rhino skin is like that too, right?
Maybe. Probably.
I mean, shit, dude. If you shoot a bear in the wrong spot
with a 9mm, you're not.
It's not.
And their
kill
skin's
it.
got to be softer than a elephant
Yeah, they
or
have
a
like
rhino.
fur and stuff,
Mm.
but their bones, like bears, the way that their bones are set up, they're just rock hard, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My grandfather used to have like cattle and such, and so he'd raise cows, and I wasn't alive when, and my dad was telling me this story, but my grandpa was telling me about it too. He would say like cows would get stuffed up, like when the weather got colder or whatever, their noses would get stuffed up. So he would like put a glove on and just punch them like square in between the eyes. He just walk around the field just punching cows because it broke all the stuff up in their nose,
And they didn't
and
care.
they could breathe.
They didn't care at all.
Didn't bother them at all because their face was so like the bones were so
It's a shield.
strong.
It's like a piece of rock.
Yeah, he'd like hit it and like, and then he like clear his nose out. He's punching cows in the face.
When I was over at Cat and Matthew's farm, 2 separate times. One time I was there, and they took us out onto. They have all the cows out there. And like we were in the barn, and the barn opens up to the pasture where all the cows are roaming. And I think he was feeding the cows. For whatever reason, they were like right there at the barn. And he opened the door, and there was just like a herd of like 20 cows. And I was standing there, and like, dude, that is intimidating. These things don't realize.
They're big.
They don't realize that they can just completely kill you if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They don't realize it, I don't think. But they
Cows
are
are dumb,
massive.
aren't they? They're like small brained.
I don't know, but those things are massive. If one of them just got pissed off and started like messing with you, that would not be cool.
Yeah.
And that was not even the big one. That was just like the females, I think.
Yeah.
It was the females mostly, because then on a separate time I ended up going over there. They keep the male by itself over in its own little pasture, I guess, so he doesn't like cause problems or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't like impregnate
all of them when they don't want him
Yeah.
to or something like that. And when dude, this thing was like the size of that red truck out there. That what is
Yeah.
That's a Dodge like 1500, like jacked up on some rims and stuff. Dude, it's like the size of that, dude. It's crazy.
Yo, they're massive.
I was behind the fence this time. I wasn't even there.
Did it have horns? Like, was it a full-on bull?
Ooh, I don't remember. It might have had small ones.
This might be a dumb question, but so male cows they're bulls, but are they bulls like you would see in bullfighting? Is that the same thing?
There's probably different species. Some of them don't have horns, I imagine. Some of them
because
do.
like is that a universal term, bull? Because you know what I mean, like
so.
a calf. Like
they call it a
baby
bull.
calf
They call
or
it a bull.
sheep.
So
Yeah.
I can't remember. It might have had big ass horns, and I just don't
could've.
remember. But
Dude, could you imagine being a bullfighter?
dude, I just learned the other day. I didn't even know this was like. I thought bullfighting was where you just like have the red thing and like they run at you and you just like whatever and like that's it. I didn't realize they actually kill them.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
they stab them and stuff.
I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah. Isn't
That's
that
crazy.
So it's
It's kind of fucked up.
it is kind of fucked up, but it's like a traditional sport, so it's you know what I mean. Like it's just culture. Yeah, I saw this because I was in this Spanish class in college, and we watched like documentaries on it and stuff, and like the tomato festival, and then like the running of the bulls, and then bullfights and all that, and they were saying how usually like as they're going. Like they'll like stab it real quick,
Yeah,
and
see, I
then the
didn't
bull
know
ends
that.
up running with like swords and shit like in its body.
So fucked up.
And they were saying, 9 times out of 10 they die, or they'll end it with killing the bull.
Yeah.
Like they'll cut its throat or something. But sometimes if a bull has a really good show or something, they'll rehab it, take care of it, and let it live, and then it just like lives in the like kind of like gladiators like fighting for their freedom.
Oh
You know what I mean?
yeah, almost like a respect thing.
Yeah, like I guess a bull that does really well, they let it live. I don't know.
That's bizarre though. I did not know that they actually killed him. It kind of blew my mind.
And it's kind of like, does that take away from the beauty of it? You know what I mean? Because like it's a show, and it's like a dance, but knowing that it's like a deadly dance, does that take away from it? Do you think?
I think so. Honestly,
For you?
like, yeah, it's kind of, it's like this. Like, I don't really like the zoo either. Like, don't get me wrong, it has a bunch of animals that I would never otherwise be able to see. So, like, on that level, it's cool for me to go see it. But then I try to, like, think about it for a second. Like, this thing is living, you know, in a little room.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool.
That space gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Every day for them too.
That's a wild animal that's just living in a
Yeah.
little room. That's got to be pretty horrible.
It's gotta suck.
And then take that one level further and like turn it into a game where we might kill you, or we're probably going to kill you. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
not even like a clean kill. Like you said, they like get swords in them and they're still running and shit. So that's pretty fucked up.
Yo, it is.
Kind of sucks.
Zoos are crazy. Like, I kind of, what did I see? I saw something on Facebook, and it was this zoo down in, I think it was in Mexico, and it ran out of money, and so the people were like, all right, we can't take care of these animals anymore, so we're gonna leave. Oh. And they just split, and all the animals were in cages still. There was like lions, tigers, like lions, tigers, and bears. You know what I mean? Oh my! And like, but it was like a full-on zoo, and they're in these like, you know, shitty cages to begin with, and then the people just like left them there.
That's crazy.
You know, the video had a good ending. They ended up saving all of them.
Okay.
Like, this crew would went down and like took care of them, fed them, and then until they could get them, and they transported them to some like animal sanctuary in the U.S. But it was like a 2-year process to get them from there to this animal sanctuary. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Just leave, you know? But I think zoos are something where, like, on one hand, it's so cool for little kids.
Yeah, it is.
And, like, that's awesome.
You wouldn't experience it otherwise.
Right. But on the other hand, it's like...
It's fucked up.
Shit, it's jail.
It is, exactly. It's exactly
jail.
what it is.
You know?
And that was the thing, like you said earlier, with, like, SeaWorld and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see that Blackfish documentary?
Bro. Yeah,
Crazy.
I did. You told me about it. Didn't you tell me about it?
Yeah, I think so. That thing is so intense.
How
like,
crazy is that?
Can you imagine the giant whale like that just taking you underwater and just what are you going to do? You can't do nothing.
You're completely at its mercy.
That thing is one of the biggest animals on the planet.
Yeah. And killer whales, like, they're actually vicious. Like, they're ruthless.
Well, I like how you said their name, because that's what they're called. They're called fucking killer whales. Yeah. And these people are swimming in pools with them like it's a joke.
It's a killer whale, dude.
So I don't like, I'm not surprised that they killed multiple trainers. It's in their name.
Doesn't surprise me.
Come on.
Doesn't surprise me one bit.
And the thing that like kind of breaks my heart a little bit is like when you see them in the wild, like you see videos of them in the wild. I can't recall seeing a video of one in the wild where its fin wasn't straight up and down. Like they're always straight up and down, as far as I can tell. And then all the ones in captivity, they're bent over to the side, flopped over. Like that's got to be a sign of a broken animal right there.
Yeah, well, like, didn't they covered that in the documentary?
I think they mentioned something. I don't remember what they said, but that's just got to be a sign of like a sad
there
existence.
Was because one of what they were saying, like what the SeaWorld announcers were saying during the show was like, you may have noticed that the fin is bent over. That signifies. They said something that like they spun it, and it was a lie or whatever. And
messed up.
No, but you're totally right, dude. Like all of them have that straight up fin. Even because they're huge. Again, like you would think. You know, eventually it grows and it's gonna kind of like topple over like Jenga or something, you know. But no.
Yeah, when you see those fins standing up, they do look like they're like disproportionately too tall. Yeah. But they don't fall over in the like they're. But
they don't fall over. It's like a sign of depression.
It's gotta be. It seems like it.
I think so. Yeah. No, I think you're totally right. But yeah, dude, you're gonna get in a tank. One, like humans. We don't swim as good as a fish. You know what I mean?
Like, so a solid observation.
So you're already not in your best environment. You know what I mean? And then you're with something who do they have orca whales or killer whales? I don't know the PC term, so I'm just gonna keep calling them killer whales.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Do they have predators? do they have a natural predator other than humans?
I don't know. I mean, they're so big. I can't really imagine anything really fucking with them.
I guess the only thing bigger than them would be like a sperm whale or a blue whale.
But they're not like predatory like that, right? They eat little like
krill.
Yeah, krill.
Yeah.
They eat that and plankton and all that sort of stuff.
So
that's my
so you're getting into it's like with something who is the top of the food chain.
It's gotta be.
That's the top of the food chain.
Like, I can't imagine a great white goes after them.
No, because I how crazy would that be, though? That'd probably be a good fight.
I'd put my money on the bigger animal.
I feel like the whale would win. Yeah, you're right.
But it would be like an interesting one.
But yeah, I mean, just, it's such a shame. What I think is crazy is just the whole conspiracy that happened.
With that, you mean?
Covering it up, like the whales, this is good for them and all that kind of stuff when they so clearly were lying and whatnot.
It's again, like, it goes back to that, like, you would never see one other than that. So, like, part of you still wants to go see it, even though it's fucked up. Because, like, we did the, when we went to the Bahamas, like 2 years ago, we did swimming with the dolphins. And they were dolphins in captivity, right?
Right.
So it was like in a big ass pool, essentially. Right. So like, that's probably along the same lines. Those dolphins probably aren't very happy to be there. I don't know. True. Some of them do the thing where like they let them out in the ocean and then like they'll come back. I don't know if that's the case or whatnot, but like
because I guess they know where the food is.
Yeah, I don't know. But like, it was awesome to swim with dolphins. Like, really fucking
cool. Yeah,
they're awesome animals, but they're like the size of a human. Yeah, they're the same size. Yeah, and they're generally pretty nice. But imagine one that's 100 times bigger, and it's called a killer whale.
And it has a pretty intimidating name.
You're gonna jump in the pool with that
and
thing?
I'm gonna go swim with it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, the common sense factor there just kind of doesn't catch me. Yeah, in the right way. Because how do you know? You know what I mean? How do you know? You can look people, like, you take a person, for example. You can look a person in the face, and they'll look you back in the face, and you'll say, all right, I'm going to give you this $100. Don't lose it, And in their head, they're like, yes, they're looking you back, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then they go and they gamble it and lose it all.
Immediately.
You know what I mean? So, like, here's a person who you understand the sound that comes out of their mouth. You have, like, common communication.
And they have, like, a conscious thought process. They make decisions,
Right. And they can look you in the face and then go right behind your back. Yeah. So now you have something that you don't share a common language with. You don't share a common environment with. And you're going to trust that it's going to do what you're asking.
And it doesn't really, make decisions. It's kind of impulsive. It's a wild animal. Yeah. Like, it's just like, it doesn't exhibit self-control, right?
Right. All it really knows is, like, like, eat, reproduce. Yeah. That's pretty much it. For the most part. But don't they say, too, dolphins are, like, very similar to humans in the brain?
They say they're very smart, yeah.
Like, we're almost to the point where we can understand what they're saying. Like,
that would be crazy,
pitches and whatnot.
I think they say that about octopus, too. I think they say those are very smart, too.
You ever see the videos of octopuses where they have it and it's like food's on this end and it's in a tank over here, but it's got to get through like a little, like, 1-inch diameter tube and it does it?
Dude.
How crazy is
that? And the videos where they, I don't know what you call it. They transform or whatever into, like,
colors.
Not even just colors, but textures, too. Like, they can change the texture of their skin to actually, like, mimic their environment. Yeah, dude, really? It's wild. It's wild.
That's crazy.
They're, like, the ultimate shapeshifters. Yeah. Because they can blend in, like, identical with some coral or rock or whatever because they can do the same texture and color. That is crazy,
That's insane.
Like, I don't even understand how that works.
That's like a superhero.
It is. Like, how does that even work? How do they control? I don't know. I think they have a bunch of little tiny muscles all over their body, like like hair follicles on our body or something like that, and they can just control them. But dude, isn't that wild?
That is wild. Can you? I feel like. Yeah, there's got to just the bodily communication that they have to be able to do that is insane, right?
Like they're control.
Like I know people who
coordination that they gotta have, right?
Like I'll train people, and I'll be like, all right, flatten your back out. No, flatten your back out.
Yeah.
No, like, and I'll touch them on the back, like engage this muscle here, flatten your back out, and it's just perfectly rounded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and you're just like. Nice, cool, you got it.
Yeah, all right, you got it. yeah. But it's like, so we don't have that the muscle recruitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to check that out, a video of that. It's really crazy.
I will. That's insane.
And apparently it's just like all octopus. They just can do that.
Imagine it.
Didn't know that.
I wonder do they have, because how much percentage of, don't they say humans only use 10% of our brain power, our capacity? Is that a conspiracy or how does that
I don't
go?
buy it. I don't buy that at all. And I don't know, like I haven't done any sort of research on that or looked to anybody who knows more than me. I tend to just go with what I think.
Yeah. Dude.
I'm not going to ask anybody.
You've come this far.
Yeah, right? But, no, here's my thing, is I've never seen any reputable source say that. That's just one of those things that people say,
floats around.
That quote they say. It's what they say.
Yeah.
And so I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I don't think it's true.
So you think we hit our brain capacity?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there might be depending on the person, there might be parts of your brain that are not very active or something like that.
Like
I don't know.
Or something like that.
Or just maybe you never developed that part because that's the part that controls poetry and you don't give a fuck about poetry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
But yeah, I've never seen anything legitimate tell me that.
Stops that.
It just sounds like one of those old wives' tale that people just say like, "Oh, don't do that or you'll shoot your eye out."
Yeah, your face is gonna stay that way. Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah,
because I guess because they break it down as like you have. Isn't your brain is essentially broken down into four corners? Like you have your left side and your right side, but you have your frontal lobe, your other lobes, your other lobes,
your back lobe,
your backal lobes.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I could be wrong. I thought it was broken down into four sections. Then you have the different parts that are like, the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, and like all those sort of things. But like if you look at a brain scan or something like. I'm pretty sure that each one of those controls a different thing, so they all do get used. You
need to use them all.
They all get used.
Otherwise you'd probably die.
But maybe we just aren't, strong enough to, it hasn't been trained enough.
Dude, it would be really, fascinating if it were true that we do only use 10%. That would be amazing.
Did you ever see that movie Lucy?
Yeah.
With
yeah.
Morgan Freeman in that one?
Yeah, he's in that, and what's her name? Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, because and as she keeps going and going, she's just it's a superpower.
Yeah. That would be crazy if that were true,
I don't know. Yeah, I think what's the other the other thing that's kind of being floated around is people are being able to download their brains onto a hard
I
drive.
love that topic. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
And so now you have artificial intelligence that is thinking and making decisions how you would.
Well, I don't think that they've actually done it yet, but the technology is in place where they could do it. Although I think currently if they did it, it would be a really difficult thing to do. It would not be easy. But if you're being technical, we have all the ability to do it, I think. But I think they're hoping that maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, technology will be so much better that pretty much anybody would be able to do that if they wanted to. It's like gene editing when it first came out. I don't know how long ago, but when it first came out, it was a big
What do you think about that? How
I
do you
think
feel
it's
about
crazy. It's awesome, but crazy.
Do you think it's a good... So some people, like if you can go in and basically, like, design your child.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a bad thing. Because, I just look at it from the point of view of, like, maybe your family has, like, this really long history of most people in your family die from this disease at, like, I don't know, 50 years old. And you just want to make sure your child
like
doesn't have that.
Genetic.
Yeah.
Like
so I think that's cool. Like,
when
definitely.
Yeah, I think it could be good, but I wonder, like, what kind of repercussions could you have from that?
I mean, usually the answer is always, like, it's not all good, it's not all bad, it's, like, somewhere in between, right?
Depends on who's using it.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I think it's got to be a good thing for most people.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would use it myself, but...
What do you think would happen? Because I just watched another video today, actually, and it was a guy who, there is, like, doctors, a whistleblower on, chemotherapy. And so if we could seemingly go in when you have a kid and prevent all these things from being able to infect kids, like if maybe it's like cancer or HIV or heart disease or like obesity or anything along those lines, like that whole side of our economy, where does it go?
True.
It's
that's
done.
true.
You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Do you think like that could eventually, you know, because this guy was talking about like the grip that the pharmaceutical industry has on our culture in America and all that, which they really do. But I mean, that could be something that like totally debunks all of that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there would just come something else though, because you get rid of cancer, and that would be amazing, but then there's just something else.
There's a new disease.
There's just something else that we didn't get a chance to figure out before because we all died from cancer. But now we don't die from cancer; we just die from this other thing.
Something else.
You know?
Do you think like is there a possibility that there isn't something else? You know what I mean?
I don't know, because like
that's a big what
viruses. I know cancer's not a virus, but like viruses, they evolve, right? Like bacteria evolves, they change to become more resistant to these drugs and yada yada yada.
Sure.
So like, as we change our biology, they change theirs.
Yeah.
And so something.
It's just a battle.
Yeah. It's not going to end anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying with like the brain uploading thing, that people speculate that that's a way to get around our biology.
Yeah.
Because you just turn it into technology.
Yeah.
But that doesn't... I think that's not so true. But...
That's a weird balance of, you know, robots versus people.
Yeah.
That shit's... Dude, the Terminator? Could be real.
Dude.
It could happen.
Dude, I saw... I don't know if you've seen this or not, but just recently, maybe within the past 2 months, I want to say, I think Saudi Arabia gave, quote, citizenship to this robot. Yeah, which is just like funny. Like, it's obviously not like a very serious thing.
Like it can vote? Well,
I don't know what
Saudi Arabia.
I don't know what their
I don't know their
politics are like, but they gave it, you know, citizenship, and it's the first robot to have citizenship anywhere. But
that's crazy.
Like that in and of itself is kind of like a telltale sign of things to come. But then I like saw a video of this robot, dude. It like you would definitely know it's a robot, of course, but it looks so realistic. Like today,
like
it looks
human features.
Oh my god, it looks like very human. It speaks. The way it moves its mouth is, its whole face. It's like human. Like all the muscles like work and shit. And obviously, you can tell it's still an animatronic, but it's a very advanced one. But that's today, dude. Like, imagine 10 years from now what that's going to be. That is going to be, in 10 years, that thing is going to be damn near indistinguishable. Like, if that's where we're at today. Come on. That's crazy, dude.
Could you, whew.
And it's amazing.
It's hard for me to wrap my brain around that.
So you take that thing and you download your brain onto a CD and upload it to that thing.
And it's you.
I mean, that's like a different argument. I would say it's not you. But it's going to be really close. Like, it's going to be a version of you.
How does it... I just don't understand
it would have all the
how
same,
it would have your, like, critical thinking ability.
I don't think it would.
You know what I mean? Like, can it feel emotion?
I don't think it would.
Or does it understand emotion?
I don't know. See, so what they say is, like, your brain is literally just neurons, which is just, you know, electricity. It's just electricity flowing in different connections and patterns, right? And so they think that they can just recreate that out of different materials, out of man-made materials, instead of, like, carbon-based stuff. I think silicon is what our hardware is based off of. And they think they can just, like, you know, create all those connections again with hardware. And that would, like, store all of your thought processes, I guess.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying about critical thinking skills. Like, it doesn't think... That wouldn't think the same way we think.
Like, I wonder... I feel like it could get there eventually. Don't get me wrong.
Maybe.
Like, if you're... Because think about something that's very situational. Like, say... oh, shit, man. I don't even know what a good example might be. But, like, something where... Alright, so we're in a group of 3, and one person wants to, like, go rob somebody. You know what I mean? And the other 2 people are like, oh, I don't think I want to do it. But then the one person convinces the other person, like, but this guy robbed me, and we got to get him back, and blah, blah. You can understand the idea of revenge. You know what I mean? And then you have this robot who, like, doesn't really understand why a person would want to get somebody back. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't understand the eye for an eye mentality. Or, not to say that that's a good thing either, but just for the example. So how does it compute? And how does it... You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know enough about computers and shit.
I don't understand
but
either.
I don't think that they could ever be the same as us. I think they could come super close. I think in some aspects they would go farther than us, like they already are in some aspects. Like a calculator is going to smash us anytime in math, right?
Yeah.
But, like, we like to think that we're conscious. We're conscient. We're conscious.
Yeah.
We have, like, you know, we're not just animals out there, like, acting on just impulses. We have decision making. We have, you know, a conscience. Something like that. And I don't think that robots, no matter how advanced you make them, would ever have that. Now, that's just how we like to think, but is that even true? Like, do we actually have that, or are we just really advanced, like, electrical things? I
think... Yeah, like, are we just primitive robots?
Yeah, like, is that what we are? I mean? Like, do we even really have this thing we think of as a conscience?
I think we are more... in my opinion, because you think about, like, a spiritual belief,
right?
You know, like,
can
a robot like really dive into a spiritual belief? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it can understand, okay, like, in Catholicism they think this, or in, you know, Muslims they think this, or whatever. Like, this is kind of the category, but the full, like, feeling of it, you know? I don't think they can feel, right?
I don't want to go that far, but just because I don't know. But with, like, religion specifically, I think robots... I think the only reason religion in and of itself even really exists is out of fear. Like, I think that is maybe not 100% of the reason, but, like, that's got to be at least 80-90% of the reason religion even exists is fear of the unknown, fear like, just where did we come from, where are we going, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't think a robot is ever going to be fearful, afraid, right? But dude, I could be totally wrong. Like, because that movie iRobot, man.
Yeah. Well, but even still, you can even tell it, like, hey, where the robot's like, where am I from? And you're like, dude, I built you right over there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you came about.
But then that one robot in the movie, iRobot, he has dreams. He's not... He's in control of himself. Like, a robot has dreams? What does that even mean?
This is true.
And then he's not, like, just responding to your commands. He's like, no, I have free thought. Like,
And I think that that's possible.
Yeah, it could
I think
be.
that could happen.
And when that happens, now, like, when that happens, that robot, even if it's only one amongst all of them, it's just the one, that robot how is that one different than us?
Is that relatable?
How is that one, like, not...
Like, think about this. I think we might be closer to that than you think, because you think about cars. Like automatic driving cars.
Teslas,
what is that called?
Yeah, Teslas.
Yeah, Teslas can do it.
Autopilot feature.
Autopilot, that's what I was looking for. Like, cars are performing a human function now.
Yeah.
You know? So, they are spatially aware. They are, on some degree, able to make in-time decisions. You know what I'm saying?
But is that, like, really... I don't know, like... Is that a decision in the same sense that we make decisions, or is that just you gave me a code to follow, and when something hits this sensor over here,
I do this.
Avoid it by going this way. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a car, and I'm just responding to the code you gave me. Is that like really a decision? But is that just the beginning? You know, where does it go? Like I said, when that one robot decides to think freely, how is that different than a human?
I think humans think very gray. Like, situationally, like what we were saying. Humans are very gray. There's a lot of gray area.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But with robots, because you got to program it somewhere, so everything's going to become black and white. If I do X, that Y and Z happen. But
are we just programmed, like, DNA-wise? That's one of the theories, like...
Yeah.
There's a philosophical theory that says that there is no free choice, free will. There's none of that. Everything was predetermined, not by some greater power, but just by, like, the laws of physics and your DNA and just the way things are put in motion. I don't know if I believe that at all, but I don't believe that, I should say, but that's just a theory that's out there. Like, what if that's true?
That kind of goes into, like, black holes and universes and
what if we're, like, just
infinity and such? So, like, what's happening right now, where we're here, could also be happening through a black hole in a completely other galaxy that mirrors us.
Blows my mind if that's true.
You know what I mean?
Like, obviously we don't know if that's true, but what if it is?
But there are black holes. We've established that.
Yeah, we've gone that far.
We don't know what's on the other end of them, per se. Do we?
Well, so, there's a difference between a black hole, which is a real thing that we know about, that we've agreed is real.
It's just an
and
absence
a wormhole.
Okay.
So, the black hole is just like this thing that is so dense, like it's matter that's been, for lack of a better term, compressed so small that, like, its mass has such a gravitational pull that nothing can escape it. Like, if you want to leave the Earth, you got to have a rocket to escape the gravitation.
Right.
We have to have a certain amount of force, right, and go a certain amount of speed and whatnot. But a black hole, like, not even light can escape it.
Where does it go?
That's a great question.
Crazy, man.
Apparently, they suck things in.
Yeah.
These things go into, dude, I don't fucking know. They call it a singularity, and that's supposed to be like a point that's so small it doesn't even exist. What does that even mean?
Like you just go into,
But they spit things out, though. They digest things. They eat things. Things come in and, like, get destroyed, I guess, and then there's, like, a radiation that comes out of it, I think. And I don't remember what they call it, but that's a black hole, a real thing we know about. But there's another thing that they call a wormhole that we don't know is necessarily true, but they think could be true based on the math. Apparently, they're like, yeah, that could theoretically be real, and that's what you're talking about. With, like, they don't know what would be on the other side of that.
Yeah, like you go through, like, that movie,
Interstellar. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like that.
That's crazy, dude.
That's first off, a great friggin' movie.
Good movie.
Yeah, great movie. But the idea behind that seems to be very convincing that it could be real. It could be real.
I mean, we can't disprove it, right? And that movie, I remember seeing a couple, I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, and maybe, like, another couple of, like, scientists, astrophysicists and whatnot, saying that everything in that movie is at least, like, the math and the physics are all right.
Legit.
But they're just playing around with an idea that we don't have an answer to yet.
Right. It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's still Hollywood.
So, like, at least the physics is, according to them, there. But what actually happens when you go through there? What do you, what do you come across?
I mean, here's the other side, and I think you can marry the two, is, like, how cool would it be, we create these robots, send them up, put them through a wormhole, and try to get them back.
Later,
try to fish them back. Like, just classic time to a string, and we'll just pull them back. when it gets too far.
Yo, like, if you have a long enough string. Or chain. Let's call it a chain.
Probably a chain. Yeah, like a shoestring.
I don't know, but like...
tie your blankets together.
No.
But, I mean, I don't know. Is there value to that? Probably not. That's probably stupid.
Well, but like... That's how it's...
But you could send up... So my point is like...
You could send
a
bot.
Like Sputnik or something.
Yeah, something through
you
there.
You send something that doesn't... you're not going to... Nobody's going to die or anything. But you send something that can, go satellite record and come on back through.
It would never... I don't know, dude. Like... I don't fucking know.
It's kind of... Yeah, this is obviously above my pay grade.
Obviously, you're not going to send a person through there, first. You're going to send a robot... But I find it hard to believe that you'll ever even know what happened to that robot. Like
fully.
Like you'll never know.
Yeah.
It'll never communicate back with us in time to.
I guess you can have video and such, but.
But that's the thing.
What if it shuts off?
No. The thing is, like, nothing can escape the pool of these things. They're so.
Yeah.
They're so strong. Like light itself can't even escape the pool. So you're not getting any radio waves or to come back with images or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you don't. Once it goes through, you're not going to know, anyways.
Yeah. Huh.
It's pretty crazy.
All this stuff, I feel like, since it's being talked about so much, like artificial intelligence and
it's coming.
And all these new things.
It's 100%.
The only reason it's so prevalent is because it's coming, and it's actually
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. It just hasn't gotten to the point where everybody's like, oh shit, it's here.
But
it is already here, and it will. Like, dude, artificial intelligence is going to be a very
in our
real
lifetime.
thing.
I think we'll see it in our lifetime.
100%. It's a very, very real thing. It's on its way.
Yeah.
And it's going to be.
I mean,
crazy.
What they're doing
it's going to have so many
military drones, and it's basically.
It's going to have so many implications that we don't even know. We don't even necessarily know the questions to ask.
Yeah.
About how it's going to change our lives.
Yeah. I was talking on I think it was 2 podcasts ago. I had a girl named Tina on, and we were talking about this idea, like, so in life, like, we all kind of, like, there's the hustle. Like, you go to school, you go to college, you got to work hard, put in your years of grinding to get to where you want to be, and all this, and it's hard, and all this kind of stuff. But, like, we have all of this technology right now, and we have all this ability to do things so fast and so easy and whatnot. And if, artificial intelligence is real, like, that lifestyle it doesn't have to happen anymore.
You would think.
You think?
I mean, it might not even have to happen right now.
Yeah, that's kind
of... It might not even have to.
Right.
In
like,
some
why do
senses,
people, and I guess this is a very general thought, but if we have all of this ability, how come? I just feel like, on one hand, I feel like we're really pushing the limits, but on the other hand, we're not using it to how it should be used.
Well, because, like, you're thinking in an altruistic way, which is awesome, but, like, people out there, the people in charge of those things, like, it goes back to, like, wealth inequality, right? Like, people want to be at the top. They don't want everybody to have everything.
That's how the rich stay rich.
Yeah, not like to sound like conspiratorial or anything, but like, there's always going to be somebody everybody's looking out for the best for them, right?
Yeah.
So the people in charge are looking how they can, stay in charge and do better for them.
Right.
Very few are out there trying to do the best for everybody, like, genuinely, right?
Right. Without some sort of ulterior.
And so, like, if nobody has to work, like, at all, well, what even happens? Like,
what do we do?
What do we do? You like to think everybody just gets to live the life and do whatever they want and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But is that really the case, or is it just like, do people get into things they shouldn't get into, cause problems?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so many things out there that we do that just completely aren't necessary.
Oh my God, it's
You know what I'm
ridiculous,
saying?
dude. Like, I worked at that pharma company for like a year, and like it's really the extent of my corporate experience.
Sure.
But dude, that shit is so dumb. That whole lifestyle, that corporate lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, just there's so much
kills
nonsense. There's so much nonsense.
Just busy work.
So much shit that doesn't even need to happen. That
Yeah.
doesn't need to happen at all. Let's have this meeting and we'll talk for like 45 minutes about this thing that you didn't even need to hear. Type up an email, put a couple bullet points with the important information, and send it out. Don't waste our fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, so much busy work. So much just like covering your ass and following the big 1,000-page rule book, making sure you do things by that book. It's dumb, dude.
Crazy.
It's so dumb.
I think that's what I think needs to happen. Is there's so many there's so much stuff out there that we can do so easily, but we're still behind. We're behind the times with all that because we're just wasting our time, dude. We're wasting our time doing nothing. The 4-hour work week is coming, man.
It might. But to just back that up, though, with what I was just saying about how dumb it all is, because I really feel that it is. But that begs the question, if those structures weren't in place, would anything even really get accomplished, right? So that's probably why that things are the way they are. They didn't just start like that. They got to the point. Somebody started a business where they didn't have rules, a small business, and they were like, yeah, I don't care, man. Joe, just like show up whenever the fuck you want, and just as long as you get your shit done, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then he hired Steve and Jim too, and then they like stopped showing up. And he's like, all right, you know what, guys, we gotta set some rules. Like let's put some rules in place.
Jim kind of sucks.
Yeah, we gotta put some rules in place. It's not you, Joe, but like
Yeah.
These other two are not really picking up their slack. So let's just start with a couple rules. Be here at 9, you leave at 5. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just evolves from there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and that's probably why we are where we are.
I think a lot of it comes from, like, you know, so much of our time, even just 100 years ago, was spent trying to fulfill basic needs. Trying to figure out where's your food coming from, where's your water coming from, where's your shelter coming from. You know, you got to find a person that you can reproduce with. Like, we don't have that issue anymore. Not in America per se. Like, this isn't
the majority of the population doesn't have to worry about that
because there are
they go
people
to the
who
supermarket.
still there are people who still, you know, unfortunately live like pretty primitively. You know what I mean? It hasn't. America definitely is on a different level with this kind of stuff.
Well, even like in America, like
There's
homeless people, poverty, like
yeah, sure,
like that.
So,
but for the majority
speaking
of the
to the
population,
majority that isn't in that, right?
Yeah.
Just get that disclaimer out there. What do? You have a place to stay. You have food or access to food. You can go on Tinder and impregnate whoever you want. You know, and so
the only thing you're worried about is making money.
The only thing you're worried about is making money because money essentially now is what's going to pay for all that.
Covers all that.
So now our basic need isn't getting shelter. Our basic need is getting money.
Yeah.
You know, and so from that, it's just super cutthroat. It's just it's a bigger on a bigger level. But if we think about it like this, we have all of our basic needs met. Now we're just creating all this random shit for us to do because we really don't have anything else to do.
That might be part of it.
We're programmed to, you know, find food, find shelter, find water, find a person.
We're programmed to contribute too. I think like that's why people seek work even.
Well, I think that's why a lot of this like miscellaneous, just like drama and like sort of like sideshow kind of bullshit kind of happens for a lot of people because you're kind of bored, you know, or you have nothing else really going on, so you got to create something that like brings you entertainment or like fulfills your time. When it's like, you know, why are you filling your time with bullshit? Like, what's a way that we can make use?
Dude, they talk about like they talk about, you know, the idea of universal basic income. And I've heard arguments that say it's good and arguments that say it's bad. So I don't know how it really plays out. But it is what it sounds like. You give everybody just like gets a check every month for, I don't know, maybe like $2,000. It's enough to live off of, something like that.
Totally.
Yeah. You know, like that'd be 24.
Or at least it's a good jump start to where you can pay your rent.
Or or like, maybe it's $1,000, and maybe $1,000, $12,000 a year might not, that in and of itself might not be enough to get by without worrying. But if you got that and then you work some part-time thing, maybe you like to make something in your garage and sell it, so you do that and you make another $12,000-$15,000 a year doing that, and then you have this $12,000 from the government. You're doing all right.
Right.
Now you're all right.
Right.
You know, that's an idea, but I've heard it go both ways, that it's like that it's not a good thing also.
I don't know. I feel like it could. I would tend to say that that's a good thing. But where does the bar stop? So everybody's getting $12,000 right now. Well, like, is stuff just going to be more expensive?
Well, inflation's a real thing, so that's a bitch.
Yeah.
But I think, me personally, I think I'd do all right on that. Give me $12,000 a year, it'd be cool.
Yeah, good, man.
But no, the thing is that, like, they speculate whether or not people will be more motivated to do things because they've got, like, maybe they always wanted to start that business, but they just couldn't get it off the ground for whatever reason. They're in a very tough situation. They couldn't get it off the ground, or they always wanted to pursue this, that, the other thing, and now they got this resource, $12,000, this massive resource that they could maybe, say, yes, now I'm doing it now, I'm gonna fucking do it. And now we have all these people who otherwise wouldn't be able to contribute the way they wanted to. Now they get to contribute the way they want to, and the world's a better place.
Right. Everybody feels like they're fulfilling what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Society's happier.
Or
B, are they just like, fuck it,
now they're lazy,
not doing anything.
Does anything.
Yeah.
Because think about what gets people to do, like, those really shitty jobs that are really important.
Dude, and
the paycheck.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is kind of connects to the robots, though. Like, those shitty jobs need to be done. They need to be done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, society would fall apart. But if we're going to be in a place where our technology is so advanced that we can just have technology do it, that sounds like a good option to me.
Very true.
But then you misplace all these.
Then you worry.
You misplace all these workers.
Yeah, right.
And so what do? Not everybody can be put into another more advanced jobs because maybe there's not enough of them.
Right.
Or maybe they just don't want to do that.
Right. So they got to have some way to pay. And
then it's universal basic income. I don't know. Yeah, it's just like.
Right. Oh, it's such a weird balance, man. Money in general is just wild, dude.
It is wild. Dude, I don't know what's going to happen in our lifetime, but there's going to be some massive changes with just things in general.
I think we're
going to see some crazy shit.
The human society in general is just, we're in the middle of a shift. It's happening right now. Like, historians are going to look back on the year of, like, 2000, early 2000s.
The internet age.
And that's going to be the internet age, yeah.
Early 90s or mid 90s or whatever.
That's going to be, like, one of the most significant, or this is going to be one of the most significant times in human history.
It's going to have a name like the Renaissance. It's going to have a name like that.
Yeah. Like the Stone Age. And like
we give names to those periods. This is going to have some sort of name
times.
to it. Yeah.
I think there is. And this is going to be a time that, dude, with artificial intelligence, with the ability to create or, like, get rid of certain genes and diseases and such, and genetics
crazy
and like stem cells and all this kind of stuff.
Shit's gonna change.
People aren't. It's gonna be different, and people aren't gonna be the person that, like, when you see a human right now, in 100 years they're gonna look different. I think.
Probably.
Like,
I don't know.
I think we'll have. I just don't. I don't know. Like, I can't help but feel like with all this stuff going on, the natural progression is for us to.
They think that
get
there's
better, per se. So, like, we're a primitive version of what we can be, because evolution takes millions of years.
Well, they think that there's going to be a time that they call the singularity, where humans and machines become one and the same. Like we're all cyborgs essentially.
Yeah.
And that
which is kind of happening now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people, like, deaf, if they're deaf, they get these cochlear implants. It's I guess it's like a little machine that they put in their ear, but it's like implanted in their ear.
Right.
And they get they can hear.
Right.
Like that's a that's a piece of technology, or like
There
a
you
heart, a pacemaker sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's just the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Imagine, like you said, in 100 years, somebody's an amputee for whatever reason.
Just slap a new arm on
The prosthetic that they're gonna get in 100 years from now,
Yeah.
that thing is gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like in that back to iRobot where Will Smith had that metal arm that you remember.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be like some superhero shit,
dude. Or like the Winter Soldier, man.
Yeah, like that. Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's there, man. I think.
But I do think that it would be. I like to be like optimistic and think that the world's gonna be massively different and things are gonna be better. Honestly, I think that society and the way things are just going to be more or less the same. There's going to be rich people who run things.
Yeah.
There's going to be, the middle class folk who just kind of get by and they're not really happy with their lives, but like whatever, they got enough money to, pay for nice enough things. There's going to be poor people who don't get, who get the shit end of things.
Like that.
I don't think that's really going to change, honestly.
I think that's just animal. That's animal.
Like the only thing I can think to change that would be some super high level spiritual shit where the world has an awakening,
just elevates,
or like some aliens like come down and shit, and we're all like, oh shit.
They're even saying that there's truth to that, man. Like I don't want to be too much of a weird conspiracy theorist,
dude. I'm with you.
I believe there is something out there.
1,000,000%. That's not even a question.
There has to be. I think it would be so naive of us to not accept the idea that there's something out there. There's
always a chance.
Only life in infinity. We're the only life.
There's always a chance that yes, we are the only life. That's a chance. You got to give it. It's like McGregor versus Mayweather. He has a fighter's chance. Or a puncher's chance, or whatever they call it, right? Like if you connect, you're gonna knock him out,
right?
Maybe, but there's that chance,
right?
But the overwhelming, majority of the thought process is yes, there's definitely other shit out there. That's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. It's like to think that there's nothing in the ocean because you went down to the beach and didn't see anything.
Yeah, there's definitely something out there.
I mean, there's a chance like you didn't see anything, so like maybe all the shit just died last night. But like
all the shit just died last night.
But it's kind of a ridiculous thought.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
For me, like when I think about stuff like this, like I love, like you look up on a starry night and stuff, like it's just, you feel so small.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So small.
It's crazy.
Like have you
love it.
Because you and Paj went to Florida and went to like the space station, right?
We were at the Kennedy Space Center, yeah.
Right. So there's a rocket.
Dude,
and those they're huge. Where they build those things, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
it's massive.
I think it was the Saturn V or something like that. The rocket. Oh,
I heard that they have a certain ventilation system because it's so big that clouds form at the top of this thing. Like
I don't know.
They have to like ventilate the shit out or something. Like it's insane. So think about how big that is. And then think about that if you go back far enough, like into the sky, you can't even really see it. It's a blip. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's so small, but to us it's so big. But in reality, it's really not that big. And then you have Earth, when you keep going back, that looks really small from a certain distance. And Earth is not the biggest planet out there.
It's tiny, dude.
It's really small. Right. So then you have these things that are way bigger than us.
I think Jupiter is like on the scale of hundreds or thousands of times bigger than our planet.
Yeah. So we're just a little marble, man, amongst like this infinity space that can just house these monster things out there.
Dude, it's honestly crazy. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm going back to that.
It's just like a mind-blowing thought.
I just the way my brain works, I have to acknowledge that yes, there's a chance that we are alone.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that to be the case. I think it's ridiculous to think that.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely some other shit out there.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
I think when I get in this mode and I think about stuff like this, I tend to
smoke pot.
yeah, no.
That's funny.
You just think about like that possibility, and then I'm like, but I gotta pay my Pico bill.
Yeah, how fucked
like how
dude,
minute is that?
No, but like,
you know,
like being serious though, how fucked up is that? Like legit, like that's fucked up. That first thought is something that probably everybody's had. Like you look up and you have these thoughts and you consider the universe and shit, and like that feels like the meaning of life is to think about that shit, figure it out, and be deep. Yeah. And then you're like, then you're sitting in LA on the fucking whatever that big ass highway is that's always bumper to bumper, and you're on your way to like a 90-minute commute to a 9 to 5 that you hate. Like really? That's what that's reduced down to.
That's what I'm doing.
That sounds fucked up.
Yeah,
that sounds cruel.
It is cruel.
Sounds like those animals in the zoo.
It really does.
You know,
and it's very similar to that. And I think that's why people will find themselves in such a rut because everybody has
100%.
Everybody has a gut instinct, and that gut instinct it's. How do you explain that? You know what I mean? You can obviously, I guess, like, everybody has certain synapses and such in their brain that fire and neurons and whatnot that, based off past experience, lead you to feel a certain way about a certain situation. But everybody has that gut instinct and that feeling or that way of thinking or that decision that they made that they can't explain. I don't know why I chose to do this. I just did. Yeah, or I don't know, I don't really have a reason for why I quit my job. I just knew that I didn't want to do that, so I did something else. I just felt it. Like, you just feel it. And so when you're attached to that, and you're attached to that just intrinsic, like, spiritual higher power, something bigger than you, and then you have to contain that to go write some, like, go to that 45-minute bullshit meeting about nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, it's almost, I don't know, you can almost feel like it's just dehumanizing because you're detaching from this gift of a gut instinct or this, like, connection to something more because we're just filling our time with bullshit because we have basic needs met.
It's sad, dude.
And we have nothing else to do.
It sucks.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's a deeper thing, I think, but I think it's just something that I think that's why we have so much so much unfulfillment or non-fulfilling things that go on.
Yeah, in society and in our lives.
Because we're just detached from it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, people are just dissatisfied in general. Not everybody, not 100%, but just like a basal level of dissatisfaction.
I think the majority, if you were to say, hey, you know, I try to test it kind of like this, like, you know, would you do your job for free? You wouldn't? All right, then you're probably not connected, or you probably don't really care about what you're doing.
But, like, the thing is, I don't think it's... So, like I was saying, would we have gotten to where we are if these things weren't in place, if these corporations and these jobs that people hate, if they weren't in place, would we have gotten to where we are? Probably not, right? So I don't think that it was necessarily we fucked up, but I just think it's part of the evolution. Like, okay, that's how we got here, but now if we want to go somewhere else, we want to, you know, make the world truly better, now we got to make some changes. Like, it's like with oil and gas power in our cars and shit. Like, cool, that's how we got here. That worked. It fucked up the planet maybe a little bit, but
took a couple lumps.
But think about what it did, like the Industrial Revolution, and changed the world because of that stuff. Cool. Now we recognize that there's a problem, though, and we think we can do better. So let's do better. Let's switch over to something else that's not going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not that we shouldn't have done it in the first place, but now we're in a place where we can make improvements. Yeah. So let's make those improvements. And I think that's like the same sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
The ways our lives are, like, 200 years ago, people did not have those same type of jobs. They were worried about the shit you were talking about before, their survival. And like they were working real things, like real quote jobs, like farming and all that sort of shit. Now we don't have to do any of that. So now we're in this weird phase where
weird shift.
Now we do this for a couple hundred years, but then there's going to be something else. You know. So I don't think we were wrong. I just think it's part of the process.
It's part of the progression.
And not everybody, the way things are set up now, not everybody can win, I don't think. Like,
do you think so? Does that sort of inhibit or hold on, let me try this again. So animals like evolve over time to adapt to their environment. Right? Like like octopuses can change color, and they developed that ability over time.
As a survival skill.
As a survival skill. So the human development, it's not the same. It's as in like we're not developing like our environment.
We're changing our environment.
We're not necessarily changing ourselves. We're changing the environment that we live in. We don't live in an environment where we would have to adapt to certain things because we're
sitting in a heated room
are
right
adapted.
Now.
We're adapted. You know,
we're sitting in a heated room with a fire right now. Outside it's freezing cold. We decided to just instead of our species being like, yo, let's just learn how to survive in the cold. We're like, fuck that. We're putting on a heater.
Let's shiver and grow more hair and become
we're like, let's just put on a heater.
No, fuck that. I'm just putting on a heater.
Which is cool. Like, I'm a fan. But.
So the human, I think like human adaptation or development, it's going to be whatever essentially we decide to make it.
Yeah, and don't you think though that it changes, that maybe we evolve in different ways? Like physically we may not be evolving a whole lot. I mean, I guess that shit takes millions of years, so we wouldn't really know. But maybe mentally we are.
But you can track humans. I mean, aside from being malnourished, we're the same from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, but that's probably also true for most animals. You know what I'm saying? Like a cow. Yeah. You know, that's probably the same for that.
What's human, like how long have we been on Earth? Not hundreds of thousands, I think tens of thousands of years.
No, I think it's longer than that. I think you were
Is it?
Right the first time, but I'm not really sure.
So in theory, that is enough time to develop certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like
maybe, I don't know.
I mean, you could always look at like medical advances. Like we don't have to worry about measles right now, or you know, what I mean?
Right, because like
because like medical advancement. But I think the base idea is just that like my physiology and my genetic, or not genetic, my like physical body is the same as like first humans, early, or like, you know what I mean?
Well, from like, so like you said, long time ago.
Really there.
But I think that's, again, I think that's pretty true for most animals, though.
I think what's crazy that humans are figuring out though is like this is all right. This is a really good example. So back way back when, like ADHD was developed as a survival mechanism because you were always worried about like something eating you. Because humans physically are not the top of the food chain.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean? By no means.
So you weren't about to pay attention to this little thing over here because you heard a little ruffle over there and you're like, oh shit.
So you develop like this hyper awareness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? So, but fast forward to right now, anybody who has ADHD, it's like, oh, oof. That's not good.
That's
not a good thing.
Because I used to think that ADHD was like just kind of bullshit. Like I used to think that.
Yeah.
I used to think that it was just like this kid's just like he just
doesn't
like to sit in the chair. It's fine. Like that's
which is
fine.
true for pretty much every kid.
Like that's cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You don't have to give him pills. He just doesn't want to pay attention to your dumb lesson about this thing that he hates.
Yeah.
Like that's fine.
Yeah.
But now that you say it like that it was, you know, a survival thing for me. That's a pretty cool thought process there. I never heard that. So maybe it is a real thing.
Yeah.
But it's just not an issue. It's actually just part of our evolution.
Like back then, it was a good thing.
Right.
People who didn't have it.
They survived.
They weren't paying attention and they got eaten.
And they didn't survive.
But now, it's a bad thing. And this is something that like I think everybody kind of develops this. You know, we'll develop something, a pattern or a way of thought that is good for one situation in our life, and
bad
we'll
for
hold on to
everything
it,
else.
but it doesn't compare to every other situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's like
true.
a smaller, I guess, like adaptation person to person. But you think about those kinds of things, and it's like, why we're creating an environment that doesn't necessarily complement what we're able to do in that respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're creating an environment that shuts down or is trying to prescribe Adderall and such to ADD, people with ADD,
because we don't need it anymore.
Because we don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I see what you're saying there. Yeah.
Do you think that we're creating an environment that isn't necessarily like what we should be making it to be? You know what I mean? Is that that's like
no? I know what you mean.
Question? All right.
I know what you mean, but I don't necessarily think we're going in the wrong direction, though.
Yeah.
I just kind of think it's like
it's just like
how we're doing it.
It's just how it rolls.
It's how we're doing it. Like
yeah.
a lot of times people like to say that, that's not natural, or like living in this air conditioning isn't natural, or cars aren't natural. Mm-hmm. But like everything that's on this earth came from nature, because we are products of nature directly, and we made it. Like if you saw a monkey like build a little tower out of rocks, like a little pile of rocks that look like a tower, like would you really think that that's some bizarre unnatural shit, or would you just say this monkey made a tower out of rocks? Like that's cool. That's what they do.
I see what you're saying.
That's just what they do. Like birds build nests. Like
yeah.
Is that really unnatural? Maybe it's unnatural in the sense that it doesn't just happen by itself.
Yeah.
But you have
the materials or whatever.
And the bird itself is a product of nature. Like it is nature, and it made the nest. So how is that not natural? So I think us living in, air conditioned and heated place, I think that is natural.
Yeah.
Because like we're from nature.
We just found a way to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's not like we're some unnatural thing. We're natural, so we made a better way to suit our lives.
That's a good counter
That's just how I
kind
of think of it.
Oh, you're not natural, but literally everything that we have came from some natural source.
Came from here on Earth in nature. Yeah.
Metals, iron, all that kind of stuff came from a natural source.
And then us, a natural being from nature, made it. So why does that all of a sudden become unnatural?
Interesting. I think the divide comes in because some things we'll use them in a way that ends up being bad for the environment.
True.
Like burning fossil fuels or whatever, and that kind of stuff, and then it gets deemed unnatural, because it doesn't promote the growth of the environment, But is it a checks and balances? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying before, right? Like that got us here.
Yeah.
And now we got to put it back in check.
Yeah.
Because now we're like, okay, well...
All right, we kind of fucked it up a little bit.
But even sitting in this chair, they say sitting's not natural, and maybe our body wasn't meant to sit.
Mm-hmm.
But then why did it become something that we, for lack of a better term, naturally do? We all love to fucking sit down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I think that's something where the environment we're creating doesn't complement the predisposition that we all have.
To be lazy as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, that is natural.
That is natural. That's 100%
very natural. Because we're always trying to conserve energy. Always trying to conserve energy. So, yeah. I think, though, a chair, if you sit in a chair for too long, your back hurts.
Definitely. So it's not natural in that sense.
It's not natural in that sense, yeah. But when you look at it everything kind of came from Earth, it is still, quote-unquote, natural.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we all love to do it, like I said.
Yeah, it's true.
If I'm standing up for, too long, oh, shit, I gotta sit down.
Sucks, yeah. 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 That's when you look at... babies have the best squats.
Right, yeah.
Just have a baby pick something up, they'll squat down to pick it up.
Yeah.
That's the best way to get natural movement out of a kid. But I guess, I don't know, man. It's so funny. I gotta believe that the earliest humans found somewhere to sit. You know what I mean?
Of course. Like, I think the argument is that the way we sit is not natural.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Or just, it's not...
They squatted down. They would spend a lot of time in squat. I mean, people today still do.
Yeah.
Like, spend a lot of time on the bottom of a squat.
Yeah.
Or they sit, like, you know, cross-legged on the ground. That's probably a more natural way to sit.
I think in general, though, we're doing it right because we've found a way to, like, prolong human life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's got to be a good thing, right?
It's got to be a good thing. Yeah, I don't think it can be a bad thing because not everything else has the lifespan that we do.
Except for those goddamn alligators.
Except for those freaking alligators, dude. But if you think about this, like the lifespan that we do, they also come back to like, you know, the young generations now, the millennials and such, or the kids now, they're predicting aren't going to outlive their parents.
Oh yeah, they did say that they think
this
young generation of, I don't know what they mean when they say that, because like
I don't
we're
know
millennials.
Which generation they're talking about.
Yeah, you know, we're millennials too. That's like
I would put us in that category.
We are technically we are definitely millennials.
I just mean like millennials as being a part of the group that's not going to outlive their parents.
Me and you personally, like
I think we're good.
I think we're good, unless you know
but
some crazy shit happens.
The general public doesn't live the lifestyle that you or I do as far as like working out or eating healthy or those kinds of things.
And dude, I have some friends from high school that like I'll see every now and then. Actually, that's a lie. I don't really see them on Facebook.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Maybe run into them at like the store.
Yeah.
But like, and they it is almost concerning. I'm like, yo, we're the same age, and this is not good.
You look
like it's not good. Like I'm not even trying to be mean. It's just not good.
Right.
There's no way that can be good.
Yeah.
And it's like, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe like this is the first generation to not outlive their parents because that's what they keep saying.
That's what's so crazy is we have one end of the scale where we're prolonging human life. The medical advances and stuff that we have are like incredible. I saw something like going along. They made a full artificial kidney and they were going to use it as a transplant. It's
crazy.
Building body parts. It's
with the stem cells and shit.
Stem cells, all that kind of stuff. But then on the other hand, you hear things like the human race might be the first living thing to extinct itself.
Well, that could happen for who knows, like what number of reasons, right? It could. That could be from nuclear warfare or whatever.
It could be.
Right. But those medical advances, they only work if they get to you in time, right? Like if
That's true.
Because obesity is obviously one of the bigger ones, and like obviously we know that there are heart issues that go with that, and so you collapse from a heart attack. Yeah, you might survive. People survive heart attacks all the time, but also people don't.
But people also don't survive.
It's
that's true. That's
so the medical advances only work if they get to you in time.
Luck and that kind of thing.
You know.
But I just it's I don't know. The obesity thing is crazy right now.
That's another product of our evolution.
That's a product of
those two things coming together. Us being able to make our lives so cushy, like you were saying, and us being more used to a world where it wasn't so cushy.
Right.
So the gaining weight and storing fat is like it's a natural thing. It's a survival mechanism.
It is. Yeah.
But in this world today,
it doesn't fit.
It's not a great fit.
No, it isn't a great fit.
We have to do artificial activity in the form of exercise, whereas before we just like lived our lives.
Yeah, before it was normal to go run and chase something.
Because you had to or you wouldn't eat.
Now we have to plan, okay, don't get fat today.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's crazy. I wonder, dude, if you took someone back then and you're like, hey, come to my gym. Like, take someone from like the 1700s.
They would refuse. They would refuse because they'd say, "No, I need to work tomorrow, or I need to do my, I need to do my farming, or I need to hunt tomorrow, or whatever."
Why are you picking that up? What are you doing with that? What's the point?
You're wasting your energy.
You're wasting your energy. How are you going to hunt later?
Yeah.
You know, it's wild, man. I don't know. I
bet they didn't have big biceps back then.
But they probably didn't have them biceps there. And let's be real. That's what it's all about.
They couldn't bench anything.
No, you can't bench shit. Pansy. Oh, man. Did you ever see... I mean, it used to be... This one blows my mind. Olympic weightlifting was the clean and press.
Dude, oh my God.
The clean and press.
And the weights they would do were not that far off.
Not that far
of
off.
the shit that they do
There
today.
was one. What
I remember
was
the video, dude. I know what
It was
you're
this
talking about.
freaking guy. It had to be 400 pounds.
He was giant, too.
He was huge. A Russian, right? Was it
I don't
the
remember
Russian
what
guy?
it- yeah,
He
but
was
he was
wearing
just
that
giant.
like thongy
That
singlet.
bikini, yeah.
Yeah, dude, this fucking mountain squat clean, like a full squat clean, like a dynamic movement, like we'll do now. Have you seen now?
Mm-hmm.
But then he just leans back and just
Presses that
standing,
shit, dude.
like standing bench presses this shit.
It was definitely at
over
least
his
400
head.
pounds.
Crazy.
Like, that's crazy.
That's freaking nuts, dude.
Dude.
That's so much weight.
Apparently there's some sort of technique with that I read. Can't remember where I read it, but the press that they would do, it's not like what we think in terms of like a strict press, like a military press or whatever. But they would do this weird motion that was a real quick, like bring their rib cages down and then kind of arch up again. And so it's like that
like
little
put some juice on the bar.
Almost a little bit, but they can't bend the knees though. That was the rule. You couldn't
Right.
bend the knees. So they would do it with their ribs and their spine. And so that was like not safe at all.
Dude, yeah, that's what I was
Not
just gonna,
safe at
dude,
all.
This guy's back has to be killing.
But they would do it so fast that like if you don't know what you're looking at, it looks like just a strict press,
Right.
I guess. But
there's that little jerk in
there's
there.
that just little teeny tiny bit, but I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him. That's amazing. But I'm just
But
like,
still,
that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
crazy to think about.
that
That they would do that
movement.
with their spine too. Like,
What's-
I think that's why they changed
Yeah.
the rules, so that way people didn't fuck up their backs as much anymore.
What's crazy to me is you think like your legs are the strongest part of your body. Your legs, hips, core,
100%.
that center right there. So they're using a very strong technique, that full like dynamic squat clean, to get the bar up onto their shoulders, how you should properly use your legs to be as strong and effective as they can be. Now they're taking their shoulders, which are very weak in comparison to your legs and hips, and not doing everything they can.
I know.
To get it up there.
Crazy.
So think about this, dude. That guy strict pressed 400, whatever.
It's got to
Let's
be
call
at
it
least 400. It's got to
pounds.
be, yeah.
Think how strong that Moliki's legs are. That guy's probably squatting like 800 pounds, dude.
Dude, like,
It's insane.
who knows?
Did you see? I think it was a recent video. Eddie Hall deadlifted 1,100 pounds.
No, I did not.
I think it was
Holy
11 something.
Shit.
Yeah, he like almost.
How
like,
recently? Like,
It was at. It wasn't at. I don't think it wasn't at the.
like
Arnold.
this year?
I'm pretty sure. I like just saw a video of it on Facebook, and it wasn't when he did it at the Arnold.
Okay.
You know, it was. I think it was a newer one.
Okay.
It was like 1,100 pounds.
Because after 1,000 pounds, I just stopped. Like
yeah.
I'm like, I
Crazy.
stopped keeping track of where the number was at.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna assume it was a really recent video, and he broke
Yeah.
a record again, which is fucking crazy.
But he picked it up. You know, got the lift, and then it took him a good he stood there and like he was like
They bring
almost
over
gonna pass
oxygen to
out,
him,
like
dude.
oxygen.
Yeah.
Like he was not good.
No.
He was not good, and the video, like, it went on. I think he probably was there for a good, like, 5-10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
couldn't even celebrate it. Like, couldn't
I
put
know.
his arms up or anything. Like, he was fucked
Dude,
up.
I mean, on one hand, think about, like, we really have no idea what type of stress that would put on our bodies because we've never done that. We've never even
Yeah.
come close to that.
Yeah. Or even in relative terms. Like, an 1,100-pound deadlift for him relative to, like for myself. Like, I would probably hit that stress level if I tried to pick up, like, shit, man, I don't know, 500
I don't know.
pounds?
I don't know. I think we don't really know what that 1,100 pounds would do to us.
Yeah. Just in human capacity.
Just period. Like, we don't know how fucking over the limit that might be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we
Yeah.
don't know. So he obviously does, but... So I don't know if it's just, like, the sheer thing that he did,
Yeah.
lift the weight, or if it was the fact that, like, in order to get there, you obviously see what he has to do to his body, right?
Yeah.
Like, his body is not...
Is there a limit? Like, that kind of stuff happens, and I don't see a limit yet.
Oh, I mean,
You know what I'm
dude,
saying?
people are still breaking records. There's definitely a limit, I think.
Yeah.
With CrossFit, they say it all the time that these kids in 10 years are going to be like blowing everybody out of the water. And yeah, in 10 years they'll probably be better.
Right.
That's true in like every sport.
Right.
but they're not going to be so much better that it's like unrealistic.
Yeah.
You know,
like
we're
the NFL, like guys have been running 4.340s for a long time.
Like that's not to say you can't break a 4.3,
right?
But you're not all of a sudden going to have everybody running a 4.1.
Yeah.
Like if it's at 4.3 now,
like normal to run a 4.1.
You might have a couple people who are fast as fuck, but like it's not going to be the norm,
right?
The new norm. Like I think there's definitely a limit. CrossFit, I guess 10 years ago. Yes, big difference.
Yeah.
That's because it was the first years, year 1 to year 10 now.
Right.
But year 10 to year 20 is not going to see the same growth.
Yeah.
In terms of capacity.
That's true. It's like when you get Olympic weightlifters, like their PRs are like half a kilo.
At that elite level,
At that elite level, you can only go so much further.
For a beginner, you can do 20 kilos every other month or something like that.
Yeah.
But like
you're just crushing PRs. It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. All that, dude. Like just human potential in general. I think like all this is kind of wrapped in, like wrapping all this up. Like human potential is, we're not. I don't think we're even close to what it is gonna be. Just in a general, very broad term. Like we're doing it. You know what I mean? In the long term, though, I think it's gonna be. The future is gonna be completely different than what we know now.
Oh my God, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm excited to see it. I want to see it. Like, I hope a lot of shit happens in our lifetime.
I know. I mean, think about like
the Mars.
Like, I can get it. Just like my mind just doesn't stop on this.
I know.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Mars thing. I want to see that happen.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's gonna happen like sooner than you think.
Like humans living on other planets.
They keep saying they're gonna send people like before 2030. They're sending people to Mars. This is the plan.
Like the sign-ups already happened and shit, right?
Oh yeah, they've had some crazy motherfuckers. One-way trips. That's what they're signing up for, legitimately.
Really?
Like that's what it says on the thing.
That's what it is.
That's what it says
One-way
you're signing
trip.
up for. Yeah.
You're not coming back.
Yeah. That's
and you got to be in some sort of physical shape to do that. So you're, you know what I mean? Like to make that trip, to be an astronaut, you have to pass physical tests.
Definitely.
So a lot of these people are probably pretty young. I don't know anything about this really, but they're probably pretty young, like 30, 40 years old.
Yeah, definitely. They're not going to send...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they want to send resilient people up there.
You're willing...
It's going to be a harsh environment,
to potentially cut your lifespan in half.
Ooh. Space travel is terrifying, dude. It's terrifying. Just like insane. All I can ever see in my head is the image of the rocket blowing up just before it even gets out of the sun.
Oh yeah.
Like
was that Apollo?
I don't know which one. I think there's been a couple, but
Apollo. It wasn't Apollo 13 because that one made.
That was
right?
That was the one I think the movie was made about.
Apollo
where
11.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But I can't get past that part.
Dude, I don't know, man.
You're strapping yourself to the biggest missile ever made.
Yeah.
Hoping that things go well.
Stand on the edge of like the Grand Canyon and tell me you're not afraid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then imagine going millions of miles away.
Yeah.
Is it millions of miles? It probably is. About millions.
What, Mars?
Mars?
Yeah, oh my God. I don't really know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It's not light years away though.
No.
Because a light year is like... A light year is a couple million or billion or trillion years.
I don't know how much it is in time.
Shit ton. Yeah.
I don't know how much it is in time. A light year is distance.
I gotta believe it's... What's the equation? It's like I have like 4.2 something in my head times 10 to the like... I don't know, like 20th power. Like it's something like that. It's something astronomical that no one... Yeah.
Light year
to travel
is like...
a light year, you can't do it.
No, we can't do it. It's how far light would literally travel in a year.
Yeah.
And when you consider it goes around the Earth, 7 times in a second?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
really far away.
Like the light that we're getting from the sun is from millions of years ago.
No.
Is it millions of years?
No.
Isn't it?
It's like 8 minutes, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I'm completely wrong there?
Yeah. I think it's like 8 minutes.
Oh, shit. But how far... All right. The sun's pretty freaking far away.
It's really far away, but in terms of light, it only takes light 8 minutes.
That's crazy. Why did I think it was like millions of years or a long?
Because that's true for other stars.
Stars
that are way further away than our sun.
Yeah.
That is true for like when you look up in the sky at night and see those stars.
Yeah,
that's true for them.
Thanks for saving me on that one.
Mm-hmm. It's all good.
All right, man. We'll wrap up here. So, dude. I feel like I could. I'm gonna be thinking about this for the rest of the day.
Round 3 is coming.
Yeah, round 3 is coming. We'll have maybe more definitely more conspiracy theories, and probably less answers.
Yes.
so it'll be interesting. But, oh man! All right, reach out to me, guys, on Facebook, Instagram, or email me team.movement33@gmail.com, and we'll get you on the podcast. Or if you have feedback or anything, or if you can maybe answer some of these artificial intelligence questions, just let us know, man. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Yep.